Guys, what is going on with you? I hope everybody is having a blessed evening. Loving like Jason here. And let me tell you, it has been a difficult, bumpy road. As I was laying here today trying to figure out a topic, you can see I'm in another hotel. Yeah, the life of being in alignment with your higher self. Not always cracked, it's not always what it's cracked up to be. Um, but I was thinking, I did an interview earlier today, which was a good interview. But I was thinking of topics while I was speaking of my interview and stuff, what I could talk about with you guys. And it's a topic that I've kind of shied away from. I don't like talking about because it makes me seem special. All right. And as I've told you in past blogs and podcasts that there's nobody special on this planet. Nobody, Yeshua, nobody is special. The name chosen one that you hear in the Bible makes it seem special. And let me tell you, there's nothing special about being a chosen. And as I've stated before, nobody on this planet is special. Nobody that ever was, now, or will ever be special. We are all equal. We are all one and the same. But a few of us have got labeled, which you know it in the Bible as the 144,000 being a chosen one. It requires a deep level of commitment. And with being a chosen one, and if you remember that I explained to you how many times I have died in my second out of body experience, over 3,200. Father comes to me and asks me for these missions, these lives that I need. And being a chosen one is another term for light worker, starseed, bringing your light into the darkness, basically. Who do we got here? Hi, how are you? You seem here, but nobody is in or watching. But anyway, it's good to see you. There you are, popped up. So I want you to know that being a chosen one isn't anything special. That's good. That's beautiful. I'm glad you are. It's simply Father coming to me or us chosen ones and asking us to experience this or to have this mission. No different than when he came and asked Jesus. I don't like using Jesus, but he asked Yeshua to come and to do this for him. So the chosen ones are asked to do the same thing. We're not masters yet. We're becoming masters, but we're not masters yet. And by no means, I'm going to keep reiterating this. Being a chosen one is nothing special. Do not look at chosen ones as anything special. I am no different than you. I am no different than Jesus. Okay? So Father comes to us and asks us to live these lives, to bring light into the darkness, to help humanity evolve, to be the love and the light in the world. You had a video about World War III. I missed out on it. Was it the vision of a huge explosion in the middle of the country, or was it one with all war? It's World War III is going to begin out in the east. One of two things is going to happen, and I'll just make it real brief because I want to get on this topic. A natural disaster is going to occur out east. And when I mean a natural disaster, a world-ending disaster, and the world will fight over the last of its natural resources, food and water. Okay, a global war. Every country will be at war, fighting. Every city will be leveled. It will be utter devastation. Okay. Second possibility, which I'm thinking more and more is the one that's going to happen, is another country is going to invade another country, just like World War II. Okay. then the Allies against the Axis. And again, the same situation will occur. It's not going to be a nuclear war. It'll be a regular war. Okay. But what will happen is the same thing with the natural resources. It will devastate the planet. There will be no inhabitable drinking water or very little of it. And the same thing goes with food. There will be very little food because the war will last 7 years. All right. And in that 7 years, the planet will be decimated. Decimated. Okay. And after the next 30 to 40 years after World War III, is you're going to see the mass extinction of this species. Roughly 7 billion people are going to die. All right, from hunger and thirst, basically, and fighting or squabbling over what is left of inhabitable drinking water and food. Okay, and this is going to happen within the next 5 years, maybe 6, or earlier. Okay, it's coming. But what is going to happen after that is those beings that are left over after World War III, after those 30 or 40 years, maybe even 50 years, all right, is going to be, or they are going to usher in the golden age of Earth, world peace. A new civilization will occur, okay? It will be an egalitarian society. And for that, it means simply this: both males and females are utterly equal. There is no discernment between I'm better or you're worse or this, that, or the other. Just like Jesus treated people 2 millennia ago, he was an egalitarian. Everybody was equal in his eyes. Nobody was better or worse than anybody else. We were all equal, okay? So that is going to take place. Cities will no longer exist. Cities are the bane, simply evil. All cities are evil. In highly advanced societies, there are no cities. You have small communities, okay, or villages, kind of like what you see in the Amazon today, right? They understand that. They are a small, close-knit community, but they're also closely related with, not related, but, like other small Amazon tribes. And it's run by Village of Elders. And that is the way things will be set up in or after World War III. But what you see is after World War III, and we're all gone, okay? Nobody on this earth right now, or who listens to this, period, can enter the golden age of Earth. Nobody. We have all been indoctrinated into this worthless, shitty society that we've created. We've all been indoctrinated by the trash religion that is out there, namely Catholicism and any other religion that condemns you because you're a worthless sinner and this, that, and the other thing, and you're unworthy of being going home to Father and all of the other crap that comes with organized religion. That all goes, all right? We've all been indoctrinated into it. We've had it beaten into us since we were born, right? Same thing with Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. We all believed that crap was real too. It all started at home with our parents, right? Being lied to. Why? Because they were lied to, and their grandparents were lied to, and your great grandparents were lied to, right? So we were taught wrong, horrifically wrong. All right. So when these beings, meaning these children that were born during the war or just before the war, right? They won't have that indoctrination. They won't have that beating in of a shitty society and of the church. Okay. So they are going to grow up and somehow survive, but they are going to be not highly advanced beings, but they're going to be very high vibrational beings. Okay. And they are going to come out on the other side and they're going to have an advantage now. Okay. So now the world, there's only going to be roughly 800 million to 1 billion people left worldwide, not in one location, but worldwide. That's like nobody. All right. Even by the time of Jesus, 2 millennia ago, there were only 1 million people in the world. All right. So what these beings are going to be left with is our technology. Okay. And why Donald Trump had to win the presidency against many of you. And I don't talk politics, but I knew he was going to win for this very reason. And the first law he signed into existence was advanced AI. Okay. He wants advanced AI, and it is imperative that it takes place. And that was the first law. He's spending billions of dollars on the advancement of AI. And that is what is those beings left after World War III are going to use with ruthless efficiency. Because you remember those satellites, those phones, all of that is still available to them at the touch of their iPhones, right? They are going to use that technology with ruthless efficiency to rebuild the golden age of Earth. All right. There will be clean energy. 90 to 95% of our energy will come from clean solar technology. The world will be run on solar technology. Fossil fuels, ladies and gentlemen, it is over with. Enjoy what you have coming. That includes the decimation of Tesla and electric vehicles, because what's powering those electric vehicles are generators running off to the side, gasoline or diesel engines powering your or charging your stupid electric vehicles. And that lithium that they're mining is far more toxic to the environment than any fossil fuel. So that goes the way of the dodo too. Fossil fuels are over with, guys. So get over it. Second, or what the other 5% is going to come from, they're going to create clean fusion. All right. Clean fusion. No more nuclear waste. Nuclear power is gone. All right. That is also gone. Now, what kind of vehicles are we going to use? Kind of like hydroelectric. If you watched Back to the Future, those kind of vehicles. All right. They're going to use it. That's what they're going to use. Now, can you imagine now with that technology what our medical field is going to be like? Schizophrenia, bipolar, leukemia they're going to be looked at like the common cold, curable instantly. No more disease. It goes. And you're going to see the golden age take off, right? And with that, there's going to be no more shaming of the bodies, right? So that means those beings back then are not going to wear clothing. They're not ashamed of themselves. They haven't been indoctrinated to say, oh, look at her boobies are better than your boobies. Oh, her crotch, vice versa with men. That doesn't exist anymore. We're equals. We should be equals now, but we've been indoctrinated into a system that says no. All right. So they are going to use that technology with ruthless efficiency. All right. And the next time, or those that have advanced or ascended, like I did in 2023. So when my awakening happens, and when I'm awakening, even though I'm going through an awakening now, which is a dark night of the soul, ego death, the awakening that I'm talking about that you all know is death. When you awaken, you let go of the body and you return home. And that is where all of your fear lies. Okay, what do I mean by fear? You are all deathly afraid of facing your father. And that is exactly what you're going to do. You are going to stand in front of him, and he's going to show you your life in absolute high definition detail. From the time you came out of mom's crotch to the very last breath you took, you will stand in front of your father, and every thought, every word, every action is going to be replayed to you in life detail. Not only is it going to be replayed in front of you, you're going to feel everything. You're going to feel every harsh moment you spoke to somebody, whether it be in your mind or whatever. He may even stop the show and show you a snippet of you, say, with a best friend, and you said something that totally crushed her, right? And he's going to say, is this worth it? Now he's going to show you from your point of view as you spoke those words and you felt all strong and powerful and macho, and you feel, But then he's going to reverse the tables, and you're going to feel what those words did to her, how bone crushing they were, how it destroyed her for the rest of her life. She carried that around. And then how she treated other people. You are going to feel that. All right. So that is what you are all afraid of. And I am telling you now with 1000% certainty, when you stand in front of your father, all of that is going to be replayed. And he's going to ask you, what did you do with your life? This gift that you've been given, what did you do? That's what you're afraid of. There is no judgment, guys. Okay. So, but that's what's going to happen. So all of us in this world now cannot enter the golden age. We need to die, and we most certainly will. Some of us, most of us will die in World War III or the aftermath of World War III. All right. There's no way that you can store 70 or, I mean, 30 to 40 years worth of food. Okay. In the world where our food prices right now are so astronomically high. Being here in California at $5, over $5 a gallon for gas, you can't even go out to breakfast at Denny's without spending $30 on two pancakes, two pieces of sausage, and two pieces of bacon. Cost $30 here in California. Okay. And I don't know what they are across the states or whatever, but in Wisconsin, it wasn't that high, right? It's astronomical. There's no way it's going to happen. So that's what happened about World War III, hon. It's coming. So you can deny it all you want. Oh, no, no, it's not. Yes, it is. It will be non-nuclear. It will last 7 years, just like World War II did. But this time around, the whole world, from Australia, Greenland, Iceland, all across Europe, all across the states, will be decimated. Decimated. No city will be left standing. It is damn near the extinction of this species. And those that are left are going to usher in the golden age because they have not been indoctrinated into the filth of this society or any society that they live in, wherever they are around the world. And they won't be indoctrinated into religion. It all goes. It's like the clean slate. When you have that dinner table and all the shit's on the table and you just take your hand and go, whoosh, all goes crashing to the floor. That's exactly what this is. Now we can avoid this. Like that's what I talk to you in my videos about, and I haven't done one in a while. I have just, you guys know what I'm going through. It's not in me right now, and I apologize. I'm going to get some videos out soon. But in the last 2 weeks, I've worked 130 hours. I just don't have the time. I'm just too tired, and in too much pain. So we can stop this. We can love one another. We can forgive one another for what we've done to each other. Remember, what's taking place is only taking place in your mind. It's not here. It's not really happening. That's what Jesus meant by when he was being nailed to the cross. And I've told you this before. Jesus wasn't in his body when he was being crucified. He was watching the whole thing from home. Okay? But when he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do," he was asking God to forgive their minds. Because when we took on consciousness, duality, our mind, instead of being one, went like this, whoosh, split. And I told you that's where fear, guilt, and the ego came from. We became fearful that we left Father, right? Now we have the voice in our head that is talking crazy shit to us all the time. And what does the ego want? The ego wants you dead, and he wants God dead. That is your devil. That is your nemesis. The ego has been every thought inside your skull, every nasty thought. That's the ego. The ego is the body's, the body is the ego's domain. It seeks pleasure, it seeks this, it seeks that, when the body really doesn't give a shit. It doesn't want anything. It goes where you want it to go. If you want to scratch your butt, scratch your butt. If you want to masturbate, masturbate. It's you controlling the body. The body has no wish to be number one. Successful, unsuccessful, rich, poor. If you want to go left for 10 years, go left. And now if you want to change and go right, go right. The body doesn't care. The body is meaningless, but it's the ego's domain. Okay? So Jesus was simply asking Father to forgive their minds. We are incapable of making rational decisions, as we have a split mind. We are quite literally, guys, insane, or all of you are, right? You're incapable of making that rational decision. You all seek outside yourself. When Jesus taught to seek within, I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. I am the kingdom of heaven. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is now here. It's always been here because you are the kingdom of heaven. You're the spitting image of your Father, but not in physical form. You're all knowing, all powerful, and all present. Okay? But Jesus taught you to seek within. And I'm telling you this now, guys, as I've been seeking now within for 3 years, and look at everything that is happening to me, right? If you seek anything outside yourself, all you will find is pain and death. That is all you will find. Do not fall in love with this materialistic world, for it will bring you ruin. And that's exactly what it will do, and it will continue to do. It will bring you ruin and death and pain. So when you seek within yourself to learn how to meditate, to learn how to quiet your mind. Hi, Pammy. So when you, hey, welcome in. So when you seek within yourself, when you quiet your mind and there's nothing going through it, nothing, and you can hear your own breathing and the rhythm of your heart, you are now connected directly to your Father. You are in perfect alignment, not only with Father, but your higher self. No thought, nothing, just dead silence. You are in connection with your Father. And that is where you need to be. That is where your downloads will come. So Jesus was teaching this. Jesus was a revolutionary. He was a rebel. He came here to kick ass, and he did. He taught the world to love one another. It was beyond revolutionary to forgive that person that just murdered your son. Did they really murder your son? No, not really, because you're not really real, right? Your body is it looks like the body in the Matrix. It's just a hologram, but you perceive it as real. Your perception, your belief, this is how powerful you are. You think that what you're seeing every day is real. It's not. It's actually a rerun. Okay? So when we took on consciousness, just think of a straight line. Okay? Then all of a sudden there was a hiccup, a bloop, and another straight line. That was the Big Bang. That was us taking on consciousness, right? And in that bloop, that little blip, all of your lives were created and lived in that trillionth of a second. Right now, what you're experiencing is a rerun. What you're seeing and visioning through the lenses of your eyes is simply a rerun. You put yourself back to sleep and slipped into this incarnation that already took place. And now Father fixed it, right? But it's still us trying to evolve as a soul to jump into that rerun. And even though your first life was lived and your very last one up until your enlightenment took place, but you're in the middle of your evolution as a highly advanced being or a soul, right? So right now, your first life is playing. This life that you're focusing in on in your slumber, your deep sleep, and your very last life, they're all taking place right now. Your birth in this timeline is taking place. Okay, that's what Jesus meant by don't worry about yesterday. You can't change it. And in fact, it doesn't even exist. Don't worry about tomorrow. It hasn't come. He said, live right now. Because right now is where everything is happening. Right now. Jesus's crucifixion is taking place right now. Even though you think it took place 2 millennia ago, it's taking place right now. World War I is taking place right now. World War II is taking place right now. Everything is happening in the now. That's why he wants you to live your life the best way possible without fear. Fear is also an illusion. It was created when you took on duality. Duality is consciousness. This is what we are experiencing, but it's only a dream. It's an illusion. It's you sleeping at home, kicking back when you come home from work and not clicking on the tube, watching a rerun of Star Wars. You're just watching a rerun of your life that took place in this particular timeline. That's all that's happening. Now, do you have the power to change it? Of course you do. I've told you how to do that in several lives and in a video that I just did that I put out. You can change your contract. And what I was talking about prior to Verena in World War III was being a chosen one. I don't like talking about this topic because it makes me feel like I'm special. Okay. And you know it in the Bible as the 144,000. That Father comes to us because we're old souls, star seeds, light workers. Okay. He's been coming to us and asking us, I need you for a mission. Okay. I need to go do this. Now, chosen ones, we start out at PhD level shit. Okay. While you're wiping your butt and learning ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, we're starting off with massive abuse, beatings, molestations, um, absolute neglect, just brutality in it to begin with, a very difficult life, right? And it never stops. I mean, it's going to change soon, but we go through abandonment, not being loved, being the black sheep of the family, never fitting in. Like I've told you this from day one, at 5 years old, I knew I didn't belong here. I was a deep empath, right? I loved unconditionally, and every little glance or ding or whatever, it brutally hurt me. It doesn't hurt me anymore because now I understand the truth. But this is what chosen ones go through. Okay. You find love and then they shit on you and then your heart is broken, right? And you continue to get up, dust yourself off, and you keep going, but you don't know why this is happening. You don't know why God hates you so much. He doesn't hate you, right? You've agreed to accept this life like Jesus accepted what Father wanted of him, right? And I couldn't even I can't, even though I know all of this, I wouldn't want that job. I couldn't handle it. There's no way. That's why he chose a master to come here and do this, because that was a master's job. He did it perfectly. But a chosen one is chosen for those reasons, because we bring the light into the darkness. We crush the darkness with our light. Why? Because we've been crushed our whole life, barely getting by with money, barely being able to feed ourselves, having shitty relationships or any relationships at all, right? No success, no fame, no fortune, just brutality throughout our whole lives. That's the life of a chosen one, right? But then you have a pivotal moment in my life. I died. I found out the truth, right, of who I am and what I am. And now the teaching journey has begun. And you guys know for the last 5 years watching me what my journey has undertaken. A month ago, I was confronted with another angel while I was living in my car in Lodi, California. Jason, and I've never met this person before in my life. He spoke with a thick Argentinian accent, an older guy. You are in alignment. You need to move. You are powerful. Somebody needs you. Right? Not telling me where to go or whatever. I've got to figure this shit out on my own. Now, this is the 4th meeting with an angel, right? You need to move. I don't get direction. I don't get told where to go, who needs me. I've got to figure this out on my own, right? So now I'm no longer living in a car. I'm bouncing around from cheap, crappy ass motels to cheap, crappy ass motels, working a job I never thought I would have again. Still barely getting by because people are paying for my food. Some people are even paying for my hotel rooms. And this is what I'm talking about, being a chosen one. It's nothing special. It's brutal, actually. It kind of goes along with a near-death experience because your life is never the same. It's a brutal change, going through an awakening, brutal experience on the body or ascension. Same thing with the awakening and the ego death. Okay? There is nothing special about a chosen one. It is simply being handpicked by God to live a brutally hard existence so you can be the light in the world for others, even though you may not know, confirmation verb, what you have done to that person. But there are many times I wake up to emails. It's as simple as this: Jason, you have saved my life. I cannot thank you enough. I was going to commit suicide this morning when I woke up. Your video was the first thing I saw, and you have saved my life. Thank you. How do you respond to that? How do you respond to that? I never thought, and that goes along with what Jesus said 2 millennia ago. You will do greater things than I. And I used to be so mad at him for saying that. It's like, how can I be greater than you when you're raising the dead, you're healing the blind, you're healing paralytics? And yet I am reaching people around the world and they're thanking me because they were about to kill themselves. It makes sense. You will do greater things than I. That is a miracle in itself. It is no different than Jesus raising the dead. They are exactly one and the same. And he was absolutely correct in that statement. You will do greater things than I. It finally made sense, but it only made sense after my death. So there's nothing special about a chosen one. It's a brutal existence. It's a hard existence, but we, at the end of our lives, reach those beautiful manifestations of success, wealth, abundance, love. It's all coming. I have to be patient. I'm right where I need to be. Not only did I put myself here, but I agreed to this contract with Father because he asked it. So in essence, I put myself right here, going through what I need to go through this last little bit, right? Like when I tell you that when you draw back the bow, right, you kind of step back into your old existence, which is coming to an end, right? And then what happens when you let go of that arrow? You fly forward into my new life, the highest version of myself. I've reached the highest version of myself in this timeline. The abundance, the wealth, the success, the fame, the fortune, all of this is going to come. But it came with over 50 years of utter devastation and brutality in my life. Nicholas, hi, Nicholas. I'm doing all right, my friend. I'm doing all right. I love you too, man. I love you too. Glad you're here. Um, so, that's what I wanted to say about being a chosen one. I don't want to ramble on too much because I'm not on here that much. So if you guys have any questions, all 16 of you, thank you for being here. I love you. My videos are timeless, just so you know. There's no hashtags, marks, or specifically for anybody. This is for all who find it when they find it. It is meant for them when this video pops up. So any questions you guys have for me? Otherwise, I will ramble on about something else. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Don't be afraid to ask. There's no stupid questions here. All right, we're awakening to who we are in this time of great change, because right now this is the popular place to be on Earth with what is happening to the ascension of this species. This species is evolving massively into a higher form of consciousness. That's what 5D means, right? When you move into the 5D, the Earth is changing dimensions. Those that have ascended, such as myself, are in the 5D. We are moving into the 5D in another, form of consciousness. And that's why you're seeing a lot of weird shit going on in the world and everything that is taking place, because those that are rising above are rising above. Those that have not ascended are still in the muck and mire, all right? And they don't understand what's going on. And during this great turmoil, this great change, there are many souls in heaven that want to come here, that want to be, are desperate to be part and help change and get the earth into the golden age of earth. And Father is saying no, 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 no. Only those with the absolute most time here is the best way to experience it. Okay, to say it. Those with the most experience are the only ones allowed to come here. Why? Because of the brutal difficulty that is taking place in the world right now. Okay, you need to be strong. You need to have your feet underneath you. You have to have the experience of being kind of left out in the cold, right? Because you think you've been abandoned, you're not. You just don't know how to reach home. And I'm here to guide you into that stuff. But only those with the most experience, you see me moving around, guys. So only those with the most experience can come here right now. Father is saying no, no, you're not. All right, because what needs to take place is we need to do our job. We need to finish what we started. Okay. Hey, Marie. So only those So that means while all you are listening to me right now, just think of how important it is that you are here listening to this. Father trusts you with absolute certainty that you will complete your mission. Because believe it or not, like that guy said a month ago, Jason, somebody needs you. Not says, hey, they'd like to meet you, needs. They need you. Okay? So somebody, guys, ladies and gentlemen, listening to this, and I need you to understand this too, because this applies to all of you. There is somebody out there that is okay. That means you're sorry about that. Sometimes I have bad connections. Sometimes it doesn't matter what it is. It could be you going to the grocery store and smiling at somebody, a stranger. That was your mission. That what you needed to do, because maybe that person was going to go home and kill themselves because they felt unloved, being smiled at, being talked to, being loved, right? The same thing what that person said, or that guy, that angel said, Jason, somebody needs you. Okay, that I don't know what that means, but I have to figure that out, and it's somewhere in this job, this shitty ass job that I'm doing right now. Okay, yes, we're already home. Small fraction of the wholeness of that is correct. This is simply a dream. When you fall asleep at night, you wake up from a nightmare. You think, you wake up, you're covered in sweat, and you sit there like, oh, I'm home, I'm safe. You realize you said, oh, it's just a dream. Well, you have all from dream yet. You truly wake up from death. That's your thinking, and that's what you said when I told you guys, because now you're going to go stand in fire and you're going to experience everything you just did. Okay, you develop your intuition or get better at listening to yourself. Is to actually listen to it. Okay, don't boo-hoo it. Your father and your guides, angels, they speak to you that way. Your father doesn't talk to you like I'm talking to you. If he truly needed to get in touch with you, like he did with me when he said, "Why not? You are my son." Right? Your father speaks to you through your emotions, how you're feeling, happy. Right? When you're crying because you're being inundated with love. Right? That's your father talking to you. Say you're getting ready to go out for a party, you're off the girls night, and all of a sudden you get dressed up and you're getting ready to walk out the door. That's sick feeling in your stomach. Something bad is going to happen. That's your intuition. That's your guardian angel, not your God this time. That's archangel talking. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I'm a bad spot. Okay, listen to that feeling. That's a reason why it's there. He's talking to you. He's telling you not to go because something bad is going to happen. You could get in a car accident. It could be a stabbing, a shooting, or whatever. Listen to that feeling. Same thing with you could be getting up and going to work for the day, right? And all of a sudden you have that feeling, I shouldn't go. Don't. But oh my God, I need money. I need to pay the bills. What are they? Who the fuck cares? The job. Define who you are? No. Does you being a male or a female define who you are? No. Because the body is insignificant. It's so minor and pathetic. It doesn't define who you are. But you're so hooked on what you've been talked and bred into in the society that I got to work, I pay the bills. But you're not listening to your gut feeling. This is the dream. Yes, this is simply an illusion, guys. You are all dreaming this right now. Okay, you've asked me to come to this dream. You've asked me to teach you, and here we are. Nothing is really here. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. It's simply a dream. And when you wake up from the dream, it's death. The ego is gone. Fear is gone. You are at peace and you are at home, what you're already at home. But the part of you that is here, that is wrapped around the body, there's nothing inside this, okay? It's wrapped around. Okay, the part of you that is here is simply your personality. It's part of it's part of who you are, but it's controlling this vehicle. Okay, Vehicle is your body, nothing more than that. It's be a tool. Like you put on a shirt, you use a hammer, you get in the car to go to the grocery store. We wrap ourselves around this vehicle to get around this materialistic world. Other than that, it has no use for us in any way, shape, or form. It's of such littleness, it's beyond real. But you all believe in it so much, and that's where the ego lies, right? The body is the ego's domain. It seeks pleasure, it seeks violence, it seeks death. It wants your death. It wants you to die. It wants to kill you. It wants to kill God, but it doesn't know that when you die, it dies. And I've told you when I left my body in my near-death experience, I was at peace. There was no more hate, anger, rage, violence. There was no more all those thoughts in my head. You know, every voice that inside your head from the time you were little is the ego. It's the ego. Right now, those things still come, but they're so minor and so few in between that I don't feel it anymore. So my awakening is the ego death, right? And that's where you see me lost passion for everything, right? I just have no desire. I seek nothing outside myself anymore, guys. That's what I'm really telling you, okay? Because if you seek outside yourself, the only things you will find pain and death. That's it. Um, all right, guys, are you there? Okay, sorry about that. That guy was kicked out, so sorry about that. Sometimes that's what happens. You got to forgive him. But never seek, I just don't seek anything outside myself. I go within because that is where I am. That's where you all are. That's what Jesus was teaching. So, so sorry about that, guys. He said some very vile things, and that's okay. He's where he's at. He needs to be. So, let him be. Anybody got any questions? Because this is just as much for me as it is for you. I want you guys to open up. I want you guys to ask questions because that's part of why I come on here. So you guys can ask your important questions, some things that are just eating at you that you want talked about, that you want resolution with. It's just as much for me as it is for you. This guy. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Sometimes that just happens. You get those. Let's see. What else can we chat about? Is there any topics that you guys want me to talk about in a video that you would like explained in more detail? Because this Sunday, I think I was going to go possibly again with talking about the chosen one, or there's another topic that I would like to talk about that I haven't talked about that needs to be talked about, and guilt. I guess we could talk about that right now. Um, all of you, all of you, I no longer am, but all of you have this within you. You feel guilty for something you've said, something you've done throughout maybe a childhood incident, through maybe a marriage or a relationship. Things were said, things were done. Some of you have children, and some of the ways you acted towards your children. Doesn't matter what it is. All right. Forgiveness of self. That is correct. You are not guilty, and you need to forgive yourself for thinking that way. Okay. Because you have done nothing wrong. This I promise you with absolute certainty. Okay, do not carry guilt. Guilt is like a direct slap in Father's face. Okay, you came here to figure out who you are in the moment of now. All right, you chose to forget who you are. Okay, again, it's a voyage of rediscovery, right? No, here we go, guys. Sorry about this. Um, and there is no see, you got to laugh at stuff like that. You got to forgive them because they just don't know what they're doing. So, they're creating fake accounts to keep coming on and do that. But you've done nothing wrong. Okay. You're on a voyage of rediscovery of who you are. You are evolving as a soul, as a multidimensional being. Okay. And with that, are you going to make some mistakes? Yep. I'll tell you what, right now, I made millions of them. Okay. And if I were to do it all over again, I would make those mistakes because how do you learn? You don't learn through ease, right? You learn and you evolve through pain, through sadness, through trauma. You don't evolve walking on a very calm beach with little tiny waves that barely roll over your toes, do you? No, you learn from getting knocked down in the surf and getting dragged under the coral and come up a bloody mess. And you're like, well, okay, that didn't work. What did I do? Right. So that is where your growth comes from. And how do you grow? Through making mistakes. Okay. So make lots of mistakes. Don't live in that pain. Don't live in that solitude that you keep replaying it over and over and get out of your mind. Let it go. Take what you've learned from it and now cut it off, throw it out, and move on. How do you interpret when Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do"? Know not what they do. I've explained this earlier in the video, but I can bring it up again. Right. So when he was being nailed to the cross, um, he said, "Father, please forgive them, for they know not what they do." What he was asking God to do. Okay, we got to get this guy going. Goodbye, bud. Um, so what he was asking God was to forgive their minds, okay? And their minds, as I told you, you're still at home, okay? But when you took on consciousness, instead of being one continuous, beautiful, pure, unaltered mind, your mind split, right? You had the right mind of the Holy Spirit, and you had the wrong mind now of the ego, where when you took on duality, Beetlejuice, not Beetlejuice, but you created fear, guilt, and the ego, right? So that's what Jesus was asking God of. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. He was asking God to forgive their minds because they're lost, they're scared, and they don't know what they're doing. That's exactly what he was asking God to do. Now, Jesus wasn't even in his body when the crucifixion was taking place. He was watching it all from home. Okay? And he asked, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. They literally are acting insane. So that's all that he was asking. And that's a very powerful statement. And it still stands true to this day. We as a species right now are incapable of actually acting without being insane. Now, most of us near death experiencers, we know the truth. We understand what's taking place. So we're not insane. We're following our higher selves, and I'm aligned with my higher self. Okay? But that's what that's what he meant by that, Nicholas. It was as simple as that. We're all insane at the moment, or I was insane most of my life until my near death experience. And then the light came, the truth, the knowledge. And that's what Jesus meant by that statement. It was a beautiful statement. Once again, even in the most cruel of situations, even though he wasn't experiencing pain, his body was dying horribly. But even in the most brutality, the moment that he was being killed, he still loved unconditionally. How many can say that when you've seen your children hurt or brutally murdered or raped or whatever this, right? No, you want revenge. You want punishment. You want death to that person. You want justification. Jesus never sought that. He only sought love. Humans are ignorant. Hate, violence comes from ignorance. Well, you got to remember where we were taught that, right? We were taught to hate. We were taught to look at somebody who's black as different from me. We were taught to look at an Asian person as somebody inferior and less than us. We're taught that. Where are we taught that from? Our parents, right? Where did they get it from? They got it from their parents. They got it from their great-grandparents, right? We've been taught wrong, but yes, it's ignorant. The human species is ignorant. They don't know what they're talking about. And that is part of why I teach 50-50 on the timestamp. So how do we let go of past traumas to forgive others and ourselves? That's where you have to go within, Nicholas. You're still seeking outside yourself. And what did I say you'll find? You'll never find your answers out there, okay? You'll find more pain, more suffering, and death. So you have to go within and truly understand that those past traumas were created by you. You asked for them, right? You created this life with Father. Father just agreed to it, and now you are allowed to experience it. So the person hurting you is not only a soulmate that you asked to do this, but if we are all one with the Father, then who did that to you? You did it. So you have to forgive yourselves, right? And that is where going within, you find that peace. You can find that solitude. You will begin to feel those things, but you have to face your fears, Nicholas, okay? You have to go back into those moments in your life that caused you great pain, all right? You have to relive them, basically. And not basically, you have to relive them. And it's going to cause you pain. You're going to cry, all right? But the more you tuck those fears away and put those traumas, that were formed in your earliest childhood days, they will not go away. In your next incarnation, you will face them again. And you will keep facing them until you face your fears and forgive them. Okay? You have to do it. They will keep coming back no matter what life you live. Okay? If you don't do it in this life, it'll come back in the next. If you don't do it in the next, it'll keep coming. But the intensity will keep going up and up and up. So you have to go within. Quiet your mind. This is not your mind, it's your brain. Okay? Your brain runs the suit. That's all it is. Your mind is at home, safe and sound with Father, just sound asleep. You put yourself into, some of us are having massive nightmares, some of us are having beautiful, abundant dreams. But I've told you all how to change that. Just go back into my videos and watch. And you can change your contract. It's what I'm doing now, right? I'm in alignment with my soul's purpose. I mean, how many people can say that? Most people fail. It takes many, 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 many hundreds, thousands of lifetimes before you reach that moment. So we are all fleas on the dog, all different, all equal. We're all the same. There's no unequality in any of this. We are all one and the same. There is no different. God is. There is nothing else. It's that simple, okay? That means that you are all one with the Father. If you're all one with the Father, that means you're all God. We are all the same. There is nothing else, guys, okay? There's nothing else. You're just on the cosmic wheel of life going round and round and round. And by the time it all ends, there's going to be a billion different versions of you out there. That's all. Both male and female, right? Your bloodline will last for all of eternity. By the time it all ends, you will have thousands of different children from different species, including this species, humans, and other species. You have hundreds, if not thousands, of children or offspring and bloodlines all over the universe. You're welcome. There, many of you that really helped. How can you tell when you're in alignment with your higher self and plan? Well, for me, I was told on October 3rd by the angel when he simply leaned into my car and said, "You are Jason. You are in alignment." And I said, "Wait a minute. I didn't tell you my name." So how, and he said, "You put me here." But he said, "Jason, you are in alignment." He said, "You are powerful. You need to move now." Those were his exact words. Okay. For most of you, you will not know. Okay. And is it unfortunate? It's not unfortunate. It's the learning curve that we're in, right? And if I'm in alignment with my higher self, that generally means, and this is your gut intuition, Nicholas, okay? My gut intuition says at some point in my life, I'm going to experience in this lifetime enlightenment. Okay. And that means the gig is up. No more incarnations for me. I'd be just fine with that. I'm done. I've had it. I don't want to do this anymore. I've done my part in helping humanity. So, like fragments of a mirror, exactly. So if you took like a glass ball, like a disco ball, right? Put it up 10 feet in the air and you drop that ball made of, like, say, rock candy, and it shattered into 8 billion different pieces. Those 8 different billion pieces are still one. And if you were to reverse it and go back up, it would still create the ball, right? We're all those fragments, but it's all of one mind. And that is of God. So, it's, you are all perfect, you are all sinless, and you are all guiltless. Okay, but in your minds, in your minds, you feel unworthy, that you've done great harm, that you've done this and that, you've done nothing. You're exactly where you need to be, right? So you only know of Jesus because it was his last lifetime. He reached, when John baptized him in the Jordan River, he became enlightened. That was his last lifetime. He'll never incarnate again into a physical form and experience a physical life. He's done. All right. And when that happens, now can he go and experience life on a highly advanced, or you can go do whatever you want once this happens. You're just not going to incarnate into hundreds and thousands of lives again. You've done what you finished the contract. Okay. You're done. So, and the only reason you know of Jesus is because it was his enlightenment. It was his last lifetime, right? But prior to you knowing Jesus, he had thousands of lifetimes as well. He just was higher up, not better than you, but he was just higher in vibration, right? Like, talk about somebody in kindergarten, he was finishing up his PhD. That's the only difference, okay? So you are all powerful beings. You are all beautiful. You are all perfect, and you are all beautiful. And I love each and every one of you, no differently than I love my own children. None. I love you exactly the same way. They're not my children. They too are God. Okay? But they believe that I have 2 daughters. They believe that they're females. My 19-year-old is all about the ego right now. She's going to college to become a vet. She's all about the nails and the hair. And I'm like, oh, I have to let her live her life, right? She needs to figure this out on her own. So that's what I do. She needs to figure it out on her own. She came in here to pick up where she left off. Same thing with us. We came into this life to pick up where we left off and keep evolving as a soul. Okay? So that's that, I mean, it's just how little you guys truly understand about what is truly taking place here. This is just simply a very high definition virtual reality game is what is taking place. Nothing here is real. Nothing here is real. If it was, you would take all your money you stocked in a 401k, you'd take your precious little house, you'd take your dogs, your kitty, right? What do you take when you leave here? You take nothing, because nothing interests you. You cannot take what is here home because nothing here is real. So it's just garbage, really. You you just firmly believe that you firmly believe in your dream. It is so real to you that when you touch your body, oh, it must be real. When you're seeing the car, oh, that must be real, right? Because you can feel, hear, and touch. But that too is part of the illusion. It's a loan. So in money, in your car, it's all frequency. It's all a vibrational state, right? So you exist as a vibration, a frequency. Nikola Tesla said it at the turn of the century, right? That we simply exist. Everything is simply a frequency. And he was absolutely correct in that statement. The reason you can turn on the radio station and hear your favorite song is because you're matching that frequency. Okay. And then when you don't match that frequency anymore, you hear it go out of tune. But you're saying, oh, I just lost the radio signal. No, you just lost that vibrational frequency between you and that music song. So it's gone. You know, when you created your life, you put your favorite rock bands and music into your life. Okay. You created your favorite bands. There they are out in front of you playing your favorite songs. You put them there. They didn't just exist out of nowhere. You created them. One of my favorite bands, rock bands, is The Cult. I created The Cult. They exist because I put them there. That's how simple it truly is, right? When you go to work and you round the corner, when you see your building, you think, oh, there it is, right? No, that building didn't exist until you put it there. It's that simple, guys. Nothing exists. You are creating it just like Neo did in the Matrix. Everything exists because he put it there. And when you see all the green dotted lines and just the outlines of a solid green phantom figure or whatever until he brought it to life and you see it in the 3D world, it's exactly the same thing. That's how the non-physical sees us. They see just a blob of energy in a square house, you know, a house with just see-through walls because there's nothing there. That's how powerful you are, guys. You all misunderstand how powerful you are. You are a God of immense love, immense knowledge, and immense power. You have the power to make the sun and the stars bow to your will. Okay? It is as simple as that. Why? Because you created the universe. The universe only exists in your mind. There is no universe out there. Father fixed that in that little blip. Remember, straight line, blip. And that was our little F-up that he fixed. You're just simply watching the rerun of something that already happened billions of years ago. So when you're looking up at night and you see the sun, the stars and the Andromeda Galaxy and the Big Dipper, none of that exists. That's the past. Okay? When you're looking up into the night sky and you see all of that, that doesn't exist anymore. It's the past. Does the past exist? Nope. Neither does the stars that you're seeing. But you believe that they're there. And at one time they were because you created it. But that happened billions of years ago. It doesn't exist anymore. It never will. Father fixed it. Everything is right now perfect, the way it should be. So, I mean, it's and when you're looking at what you consider these hands, right? This is the future. This is the now moment, the future. What you see in the night sky or the sun is the past. It doesn't exist. What you see now in front of you is your future. I know that's a lot for you guys to wrap around, but nonetheless, that's exactly what it is. So anyways, it's your Saturday night, guys. We're over an hour. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you for showing up on this beautiful evening. Sorry about that gentleman that wanted to, ruin the evening, but I have already forgiven him and moving on. And please do the same. There are some that, just don't believe. So, and that's okay. They are right where they need to be too. So I love him. I forgive him, and he's banned from the show. So we'll leave it at that. But any of you got any last comments, concerns before I let you go enjoy your Saturday evening?
And thank you again for all your love and support. Thank you for coming out on your Saturday. Um, Pammy, you are more than welcome. Thank you for showing up and showing your love and support for me. It makes me feel wonderful. It truly does. Again, guys, thank you, Nicholas. Much love to you as well. You guys enjoy your evening. If you want to see a video topic talked about, please put that in the comments. You guys know very well that I read the comments and I respond to them um, all that I can, and I will talk about that. But until then, guys, have a great weekend. I love you all so very much. Thank you for your love and support. And I'll put out a new video soon as I get caught up or these hours die. I'll put that out for you. And I love you guys. You guys take care.